Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding introduction to hydraulics and pneumatics. Now fluid power. So fluid power is a branch of engineering science which deals with the power transmitting systems employing pressurized liquid or gas to transmit energy from an energy generating source to an energy use area. So it is the use of confined fluid flowing under pressure to transmit power from one location to another. So it is one of the three commonly used methods of transmitting power in an industrial setting. So other sources are electrical and mechanical power transmissions. Two of the most important advantages of fluid power transmission are its ability to multiply force and its flexibility to change direction quickly without damage to the system. So, whenever the term fluid comes, it will be either air or oil. So, fluid refers to both gases and liquids. So, fluids, a liquid is a fluid that for a given mass it will take the shape of its container. So, liquids are incompressible. And regarding gases, air is only commonly used gas in fluid systems because it's inexpensive and readily available, and it is compressible. So whenever the term fluid comes, it will be either air or oil. Now fluid power is subcategorized as hydraulics and pneumatics. The fluid power means the use of fluid to transmit power from one location to another. That is called a fluid power. There are two categories. First is hydraulics and another is pneumatics. So hydraulics it employs pressurized liquid and pneumatics it employs compressed air. So regarding hydraulics, the use of liquid flowing under pressure to transmit power from one location to another means it employs a pressurized liquids. And regarding pneumatics, the use of a gas flowing under pressure to transmit power from one location to another means pneumatics employs compressed air. Now the basic elements of fluid power system. So the first category, it is energy storage elements. So these elements stores the energy by storing the fluid itself and supplying it when the workload demands it. These elements include air storage tanks, hydraulic accumulators, etc. Or the examples are reservoir or receiver. So the function of reservoir is to store the fluid. Next is energy transmission and control elements. So through the pipes from source to the application and controlled by various valves. So this is a function of energy transmission and control elements. And the examples of energy transmission elements, these are fluid conductors like pipe, tube or hose that allows for flow between components. So these elements are called energy transmission element. Then next is energy conversion element. So this element converts mechanical energy into fluid pressure energy. So these elements includes hydraulic pumps and air compressors. So it converts mechanical power into fluid power. Then next element is energy control elements. So these elements makes the use of energy to the application by controlling its parameters like pressure, flow and direction, etc. So these includes pressure control valve, flow control valves and direction control valves. So it controls or the valves that controls the direction and amount of flow. So according to that, it is categorized as pressure control valves, flow control valves and direction control valves. The next element is energy reconversion element. So these elements reconverts the fluid pressure energy again into useful mechanical energy by the application. So this includes cylinders and motors. So that is the examples of energy reconversion element is actuators. So it converts fluid power into mechanical power again. So this is called energy reconversion element. Now we will see the basic components of hydraulic and pneumatic systems. So first we will see the hydraulic systems. So every power transmission system has some means or medium to convey power from its source to the application area. In mechanical power transmission, shafts, gears, belts, etc. are the means of power transmission. In electrical system, the current is the media to transmit power from its source to the destination. Similarly, the hydraulic fluid is used to convey power from power source, that is motor, engine, etc. to the actuator, means hydraulic cylinder, motor, etc. So these are called the hydraulic systems. So you can see the components of hydraulic system. There is a oil reservoir, then oil pump, pressure relief valve, control valve, flow control valve, pressure control valve and to the actuator. So this is a flow diagram that is shown in a hydraulic system. So energy in hydraulic system, so it is the ability to perform the work. So the Pascal's law, pressure applied to a confined fluid is transmitted equally in all directions throughout the fluid and acts perpendicular to the surfaces in contact with the fluid. So Px equal to Py equal to Pz. So applications are hydraulic jack, press, etc. So this principle that is used in a hydraulic systems. So you can see the structure of hydraulic system. So hydraulic systems are the power transmitting assemblies employing pressurized fluid to transmit energy from an energy generating source to the application area. So here the energy generating source, it is a pump, and application area you can see at the top there is a piston and cylinder arrangement. So movement of the piston in a cylinder, that will be the application in a particular direction, that will be the application. So energy conversion. So energy conversion, mechanical energy to hydraulic energy done by hydraulic pump. So at the bottom you can see the element, the name it is given, that is a pump. So pump, it is a energy conversion element. So mechanical energy of the pump, it is converted into hydraulic energy of the fluid, that is done with the help of pump. Then energy transmission and control. So all the elements that are connected through the pipes, so that are connected through the pipes from source to the application and controlled by various valves. So these elements, that is called the energy transmission. And energy reconversion, at the top you can see the piston and cylinder. So it is a reconversion, energy reconversion element. So hydraulic energy to useful form of mechanical energy done by hydraulic cylinders and motors. Now, inner structure of hydraulic system. At the bottom there is a reservoir, then there is a filter to filter the oil, then energy conversion element, that is a pump that is used. So there is a pump, then above the pump there is a direction control valve, or you can say it is a DC valve. So it is a 4 by 2 DC valve. Then over the DC valve there is a piston and cylinder arrangement. So that is a application area, or you can say it is a actuator. And in between the actuator and the direction control valve there is a flow control valve. So you will get the flow at control rate. So that is a flow control valve. And on the right hand side you can see the pressure relief valve. Okay, so these are the various elements of the hydraulic system. So various elements, first is energy storage or reservoir elements. So these elements include oil tanks, pressure gauges, level indicators, temperature switches, etc. So fluid storage elements contains oil tank, pressure gauges, level indicators, and temperature switches. Then fluid conditioning element. So these elements include strainers, filters, and heat exchangers or heaters, etc. So you can see there is a fluid conditioning element, the filter that is shown at the bottom or top of the reservoir. So the oil that will filter through the filter and it will enter into the pump. Then fluid conducting element. So it includes pipes, connectors, couplings, hoses, etc. Then fluid pressurizing elements. So these elements converts mechanical energy to hydraulic energy. It includes gear pumps, vane pumps, piston pumps, screw pumps. So here you can see the pump and the symbol that is shown for the pump. So it converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. Then fluid control element, so various flow control valve, direction control valve that is shown, or pressure control valve that is inside the category of fluid control elements. So pressure control valve that will control the pressure, direction control valve that will control the direction of the fluid, and flow control valve that will control the flow of the fluid. So these includes flow control valve, pressure control valve, and direction control valves and check valves, etc. And the last element, that is fluid power utilizing elements. So these elements converts hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. So movement of the piston inside the cylinder, that will be the conversion of hydraulic energy into mechanic, and it is due to the fluid pressure. So hydraulic energy, it is converted into mechanical energy. So these elements include linear actuators, means it is a cylinders, and rotary actuators, means it is a motors. Another diagram, you can see the various elements of the hydraulic system. There is a pump at the bottom, there is a oil tank, or you can say it is a reservoir. Then there is a pump. Then pump, it is connected to the direction control valve. The fluid that will flow through the direction control valve at specific direction, then it will enter into the flow control valve, and that fluid, it is delivered to the back side of the piston. It will force the piston in a forward direction, and at the same time the fluid inside the uh, piston rod area, that will come through the through that area into the direction control valve and into the reservoir again. So that is a working of the hydraulic system. Then there is a pressure relief valve that is connected above the pump. So pressure relief valve. So the relief valve that will perform this function by diverting the excess flow. So when required pressure level is reached, then that pressure relief valve that will divert the excess flow from the pump to the tank to maintain the desired pressure in a or throughout the system. So it will maintain the constant pressure throughout the system by pressure relief valve by diverting the fluid from pump into the reservoir. Then components of hydraulic system. At the bottom there is a oil reservoir. So it is a storage tank for oil. So it consists of tank, filter, strainer, baffle plates and drain plug. Then second is oil pump. The purpose of pump is to supply a flow of fluid to hydraulic system. Then next is pressure relief valve. So it is used to control pressure. If pressure in a system increases above a preset level, this valve opens to release the fluid out of the system. Then direction control valve. It is used to control the direction of flow of working fluid so as to control the direction of motion of the actuator. Then flow control valve. It is used to control flow rate of fluid of working fluid so as to control the speed of actuator. So by using flow control valve you can control the speed of the actuator. Then pressure control valve. So it is used to maintain the desired pressure level in a various parts of the circuit. And last one, that is actuators. So it is used to convert air pressure delivered by air circuit into applied force and motion. So that air pressure means it is in the case of pneumatic system, but in case of hydraulic system it is a fluid pressure or oil pressure into the application. Then next is pneumatic system. So pneumatic system, so it consists of air compressor, heat exchanger, air dryer, then FRL unit, then direction control valve, then flow control valve, then it is pressure control valve, and then the actuator that will actuate. So this is the application. Actuator means it is the application. So this is the flow diagram. Now you can see the circuit diagram of pneumatic system. So at the right hand side there is a circle and there is a point. So it indicates a compressor, then FRL unit. Then the air from FRL unit, after passing through the compressor, it will enter into FRL unit, and after FRL unit it will enter into the DC valve. So in a diagram 4/2 DC valve it is shown, and after entering into the DC valve it will enter into the cylinder. It will force the piston in a forward direction. Then the at the same time the air inside the piston rod end area, the air through that section it will enter into the again B to R, and it will exhaust into the air. So that is the working of a pneumatic system. So here the working it is shown by the arrow. The air from compressor, then it is enter into the FRL unit, then it will through P to the B and B to the piston rod area. It will force the piston in a backward direction. At the same time the air inside the back end of the cylinder, it will enter, it will release through that section, and it will enter into the direction control valve through the A to R and R to exhaust in a air. So this is the working. So it is actually a backward stroke of the piston. So this is another diagram that is shown for the pneumatic system. Then components of pneumatic system. So first is air compressor. So in a hydraulic system, the pump, hydraulic pump, it is used for the conversion of mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. But in a pneumatic system, air compressor it is used. So it is a machine which increases the pressure of air by reducing its volume. Then heat exchanger. So it is a device that transfer heat through a conducting wall from one fluid to another. Next is air dryer. So it is a moisture separator which removes moisture from the compressed air before it is fed to air receiver tank. Then FRL unit. So you have been seen the FRL unit at the bottom. So FRL unit means F for filter, R for regulator and L for lubricator. So filter, air filter. So it separates solid contaminants from compressed air and it supplies clean air to the pneumatic system. That is a function of filter. So it filters the air. Then second element, that is R for regulator, that is air regulator, it maintains constant pressure in the system. And last element, that is L, that is used for lubricator. So air lubricator, it reduces friction between the internal moving parts of the system. So FRL unit means it is a filter, regulator and lubricator. Now the comparison between hydraulic and pneumatic system. So in case of hydraulic system, resistance to fluctuating load, then speed is limited, then cavitation arises, system rigidity is good, weight to pressure ratio is low and low operating cost. But in case of pneumatic system, non-resistance to fluctuating loads, very high speed, cavitation does not arise, system rigidity is not good, weight to pressure ratio is high and it has a high operating cost. So this is regarding introduction to hydraulics and pneumatics. Thank you.